Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome back to our YouTube channel once again. And it is my hope and prayer that this video is actually going to find you guys in good health. Personally, I am fine, as you can see. Kisumu is fantastic, and maybe you could also let me know where you are watching the video from, the county or the country, in case you are out of the republic. Ladies and gentlemen, earlier today, I was just going through online stuff, on Twitter to be precise. Then I came across an old article and I opened the link to that article, read it, then bumped onto these two forms. There were several other forms, but these two forms interested me because of the handwriting on those two forms. The forms there I know are familiar to you, but the handwriting there caught my attention. And then I went to Facebook page, my Facebook page, which I want you guys to actually go there and like the page. I went there and posed a question whether handwriting should be one of the requirements during IBC recruitment process, because clearly from the handwriting there something is clearly not right. Then it occurred to me that those forms were actually tampered with. Then I decided to start thinking whether William Ruto will be able to rig in 2027. Because you all know that as things stand today, it will take a miracle for William Ruto and Kenya Kwanza to win the popular vote. But of course, in Kenya, votes don't necessarily matter. Mwai Kibaki became the president in 2007, despite the fact that Raila Odinga defeated him hands down. Despite the fact that Raila Odinga defeated him hands down. And of course, in 2022, we all know that the rigging was high-tech. So in this video, I want us to figure out whether William Ruto will actually be able to rig elections in 2027, if indeed that is the plan. Because most of you guys are telling me that Kenya Kwanza are already laying the ground to rig the 2027 election, just like the 2022 elections were rigged. Let me take you back. How were elections in 2022 rigged? Of course, we all know that the world over, elections are always rigged with a few chance of being stopped. Rigging takes place in several formats. They can take place at the registration, voter registration, where the system or the government can figure out, okay, this area is opposition stronghold, so the registration in those areas are suppressed. In fact, this was so prominent during the the IBC registration process of 2015 or 2016 there, where in places like Nyanza they would tell you to go and register voter in specific area. You go there, kids are not working. Then it can also happen during the manipulation of results, like what you are seeing, what you saw in those forms, where figures were changed. The difference is small, but how many polling stations? Of course, state can also decide to employ their resources on their preferred candidate. Like in the last election, Kenya Kwanza believed that Uhuru Kenyatta really used state resources on Raila Odinga. Of course, there is also the electoral process. If it's not transparent, then it can be used. For example, how do you recruit IBC officials? In the last election, we all know that out of the 47 returning officers, almost 17 were from one tribe. So it's possible. Of course, even the judiciary can be compromised so that they can make a ruling that favors whoever wants to rig election. In 2022, it was high-tech to an extent that IEBC ended up printing to Form 34A. Form 34A is the form that is used to produce reports, to produce results. Form 34A is the form that is actually used to record the results at the polling station, because in our country, the results at the polling stations are the most important. So IBC, in their own wisdom, as part of their rigging schemes, decided to print Form 34, two copies, and then all of them were taken to the ground. Remember, the cost of printing those papers, there was no extra charge, so it means someone somewhere footed the extra charges. You also remember the server, the issues around the servers, the Jose Kamago story. So it was high tech. And now that William Ruto is the president, is there anything that can stop him from rigging the elections in 2027 if indeed he successfully rigged the 2022 election? That's exactly what I want us to analyze in this video. But before we do that, in case you're watching this channel for the first time, please take a second or two, click that subscribe button so that next time we produce a video like this, YouTube will automatically notify you. And to the subscribers, I want to continue thanking you guys for your continued support, because without that support, this channel cannot be where it is. Ladies and gentlemen, without any further ado, let us dive in. Let me begin this video by asking you a question. If indeed it's true that in 2022, William Ruto, as an outsider, managed to rig an election in his favor, is there anything that can stop him and the team from rigging in 2027 when he is the sitting president? Is there anything? Or let me reframe it. Is there anything that opposition leaders can do to stop rigging in 2027? If you ask me, 2027 election is going to be completely different. And therefore, William Ruto is going to find it very difficult to rig. I'm saying this because, number one, as we speak today, the country is united in removing William Ruto from office. The truth is, those who are supporting Ruto will continue supporting him. But those who are disappointed with his leadership are united that he doesn't deserve a second term. Just like Kenyans were united against Moi in 2002. Generally, Kenyans just wanted to end Moi's rule. In 2022, in 2027, similar situation. Kenyans are decided that they just want to see William Ruto out of office. And because of that, there's a possibility that a revolution is going to be engineered. If not a revolution, what we are going to witness is a clear rebellion against William Ruto. And signs are already emerging. The Law Society of Kenya has picked up a fight with William Ruto. In the last election, the Law Society of Kenya was kind of lukewarm towards Ruto. That's the fact. People like Miguna are now coming out to castigate William Ruto. People like Olesa Pitt, the church, are coming out boldly to challenge Ruto. So which means there is a way the country is uniting against William Ruto. And that's going to be very bad for him. Remember, in 2022, the mountain actually united against Uhuru Kenyatta because of his perceived support for Raila Odinga. And it became very difficult for them to be persuaded to vote for Raila. They were decided. That's what William Ruto is going to experience in the Republic of Kenya in 2027. Number two, William Ruto's intentions are already known. The truth of the matter is that according to Robert Greene, his law number 3 is very clear that you need to conceal your intentions. William Ruto's moves, anybody can easily conclude that is geared or are geared towards rigging. In case you've watched this video up to this stage, please just know from the bottom of my heart, I really value it. And for those who want to send coffee, you can use the numbers you are seeing on your screens there. And I also want to take this opportunity to thank the following people for the coffee which I received earlier today. You can also do the same using those numbers. So I was saying that his intentions are already known. And because his intentions are already known, it's going to put him at some disadvantaged position. Unlike in 2022. In 2022, most people believed that Raila Odinga had the deep state. So they were comfortable because according to them, that's the only thing Raila Odinga has always lacked. So they never believed that William Ruto could come from outside and execute the schemes without being supported with the government. And that's why up to now, there are those who believe that William Ruto's presidency was actually aided by none other than Uhuru Kenyatta, that Uhuru Kenyatta played William Ruto. The truth is, William Ruto had his own system within the system. So he was able to counter. For example, how could someone like Monica Joma sit in a strategy meeting of Raila Odinga on how to make Raila Odinga president while she was working for William Ruto? Yeah? So the truth is, his intentions are known, unlike before. As much as people knew that William Ruto is crafty, they never imagined that he could go to that extent. And because his intentions are already known, it's going to be very difficult. Number 3, this time round, I doubt if William Ruto will have a rallying call. I've always told you that politics is a perceptual game, perceived. So in the last election, William Ruto was able to craft a narrative around the hustlers versus the dynasty. And of course, if you add to the tyranny of numbers, which is the Kikuyus and the Kalenjins, and then you add to the hustlers who are border guys and mamambogas, then even if he rigged, you'd agree that indeed this guy really tried. Yeah, that's why sometimes it's very difficult to rig if you don't have the numbers. First of all, you must look for the numbers. So William Ruto was able to bring the numbers perceptionally of the hustlers and mamambogas to his side. This time around, tell me William Ruto's rallying call. The mamambogas are not happy with him. The hustlers are not happy with him. His performance is below par. What will he use to rally? I mean, okay, let me put it this way. What do you think can make someone to be proud of William Ruto's first term in office? Is there anything that can really attract you to go and vote for him? The only thing that can motivate you is disappointment that, for example, Raila is not running, or maybe Kalonzo is weak, or maybe, just kind of those things. But really nothing. In the last election, there are people who voted for Ruto sincerely from the bottom of their hearts because they believed William Ruto was going to solve the hustlers' problem. And because he doesn't have that rallying call, it is going to be very difficult for him. And of course, I don't know, but it's still too early. He can still be able to manipulate the masses again. Number 4, and this is the biggest challenge for him, is that the opposition is not going to be focused on removing him. Unlike in 2022, where instead of focusing on winning the presidency, Raila Odinga team were focused on sharing power because they believed they were already in State House. That was the thing. They believed that they were already in State House, so they would not listen to anybody. This time around, if you ask me, they're going to be more focused. So in the last election, for example, there were no agents. I'm 100% sure that the opposition this time around will go into the election with agents. And that's where William Ruto is going to have trouble. In the mountain, for example, Azimio didn't have agent anywhere. And that's where manipulation of results took place. So if they'll decide to have agents across the country and work on turnout in the stronghold, it's going to be very difficult to rig. It's actually, as long as the opposition is organized, as long as they can have agents, of course, some will be compromised, but as long as they can have agents who can counter the results as they are announced there with facts, it's going to be very difficult to rig. So that's the biggest challenge is facing. And of course, lastly, Kenya Kwanza won the presidency in 2022 against all odds. As we move towards the 2027 election, they're in power and they are confident. They have the money, they have the power, they can talk the way they're talking. That is what is called overconfidence. That is what failed Azimio. So most of their supporters will believe, okay, if William Ruto won without the state, now he's the president, you can't defeat him. So they'll relax. Just like Raila Odinga supporters relaxed. That this time round, Raila amemaliza kazi. There's even no need of turning out to vote. So let us wait and see. But it's going to be a tall order for anybody who is planning to rig in 2027 to do so. Let me hear your thoughts in the comment section. Thank you, and may you have a good day. Bye-bye.